Hi, today I'd like to show you how to play Roadhouse Blues. I'm tuned to E, E, B, E. The original guitar player, Robbie Krieger, has a great 6-string lesson on YouTube. So I went and took a look at that to make sure I was pretty close anyway, and sort of adapted whatever he had to say to our 3-stringed instrument. I'm playing with my fingers today because actually that's convenient for me, but it turns out that's how he played it, was with his fingers. I'm using a clean sound on my cube because it's a lesson. Otherwise I would definitely crank it up a little bit. So the first lick, it's pedaling away on the low string. Like a shuffle feel. Shuffle meaning instead of 1 and 2 and straight time, you move the and towards the next beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. The lick itself, that's 5, 6, 7. And I noticed in his video, since he's the guy who wrote the guitar part, that sometimes he rolls it, hammer on, and sometimes he picks it. So whichever way you want to do it, you know, it works. The second part of that lick is 3, 4, 5 on the middle string. Once again, I'm hammering it. So the whole thing. Very slow. There you go. That carries on throughout most of the song, probably the most important lick of the song. The verse has 3 lines. At the end of line 1 and line 2, there's a little guitar tag, which goes like this. That's it. I'll do that slow. All there is to it. So it does at the end of the first line, the end of the second line. The third line, the guitar and the voice play together. They start off really together and they sort of digress. So we're going to do that here, 3, 0, 3, 0. Like that. So we start off right with the voice. I think it's Going Down the Roadhouse. Down. And then when we hit that last note open twice, the voice isn't with us. The voice comes in afterwards, which is a really cool thing actually. Then you go back to the lick. Then there's the second verse. Same story. End of the first line. End of the second line. All the while doing that lick in between. So the last line of the second verse does the same thing, but there's a little variation. Normally I wouldn't mention a little variation like this, but there's one note that kind of sticks out, so I thought I'd better mention it. That one. Stands out to me anyway. Maybe you won't care. The timing actually works out a little bit better. Okay, now we're getting ready for the chorus. There's a little tag before the chorus, which is basically an echo of I'll do that slow. Once again, it's an echo, so you want to have the same feel. So that's the last little line I played there on the verse. See how it kind of has the same rhythm? Then we're into the chorus, which is the 4 chord found on the 5th fret, which is an A. And it's just a riff. Standard boogie riff actually. So that's 2 on the 5. If you can get both strings, that'd be great. Don't have to. Need this one though. Then 8/9, 2 5s on the middle, 7 5. I'll do it real slow. And up the tempo, you do it about 6 times. About that speed. Then we go to the 5 chord, which is on the 7th fret, and we do the feel 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. Faster. Okay, so that was 8, which is C, 8, 8, 8, 7. And that's not the same feel. It's not 1 and a, it's a 1, 2, 1 and 2, 3. So I'll do the whole thing for you now that I probably confused you. Like that. Then you're back to the song. Actually, that's a solo. We'll talk about that at the end though. So you do the solo part and then you go back into the 3rd verse. Everything is the same as the 2nd verse. So after you've done the jam part, you go back and do the verse part, and then you do the chorus, and then you're back to the ending. The ending is almost the same, just slightly different. So you do the same on the 5 chord, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and then a 1 on the 5 chord. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. There's a half beat pause, and then you go up chromatically, 1 fret at a time, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So. Now there's a lick there. It's kind of important. He does it an octave higher than we can do it, but we can sort of fudge it. We fudge it by going up to 19, then 17, 15, 17 on the middle, 15 on the high string, and then over here bending the 5, sort of a pre-bend, and then we do a 7th chord, F7 to E7. Like that. That's a little awkward, that chord. He also mentions on his lesson, Robbie Krieger that is, that he uses that chord instead of the lick sometimes, especially you mentioned in the 2nd verse. So if it's not awkward for you and you're playing with someone else, you know, that might be sort of fun to do. Actually, I think his rhythm was, yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. The verses, the choruses, the ending, the important parts. Now the jam. Jam, he uses minor pentatonic, basically. We can reproduce some of his licks. I'll show you a couple easy ones right off the bat. This one here. And then and he's doing a lot of his jamming up here, but an octave higher. If you have one of those little octave pedals that go up an octave higher, you could probably get pretty close. And he does a lot of. So this is basically an octave of what I like to call box 1. Of the pentatonic scale. Even though the song is considered to be in the blues scale because, and that makes it a blues scale, that note there, I find all the solo stuff seems to be strictly in the pentatonic. So that's sort of box 1. So you can mess around with that. And the 2 licks that I showed you, this is here, this would be like an extension of box 2, I guess. Here's box 2. Of the pentatonic scale. And so extending it, you kind of have to extend, because of how we're tuned, you have to extend the boxes anyway. And in case you're wondering, box 3 would be... That would be the extension. And then box 4. And box 5. Anyway, he uses everything but on a 6-string, so it wouldn't look the same as it does on ours. The reason I mention the boxes is because it's really good. Instead of running a scale, like you know that the pentatonic scale, when you run a scale, it sounds like a scale. It doesn't sound like blues or rock to me, heavy rock maybe, but it doesn't sound like you know, traditional rock and roll, because those guys tended to pick a box and play in it. When they were tired of that box, they went somewhere else. By messing around and changing boxes, it gives a sense of phrasing to your solo. Anyway, I'm digressing. I hope you have a lot of fun with that. Have a great day. Bye.